After President-elect Donald Trump stepped up in trying to fix Canada's border and immigration crisis, his Vice President JD Vance has stood up for Christians, something Canada's own federal government has repeatedly refused to do. The VP-elect recently sided with Conservative MP Jamil Javani in calling for additional protections for Christians in Canada. Vance said, quote, "Canada has seen a number of church burnings in recent years thanks to anti-Christian bigotry. All over the world, Christians are the most persecuted religious group. Jamil is speaking the truth. Shame on journalists who refuse to see what's obvious." The most liked comment on Vance's post came from True North's Cosmin Jurja. He said, quote, 112 burnt and vandalized to be exact, and 2 parishioners dead in a church fire in Winnipeg this year, all because the dishonest legacy media fabricated a lie that mass graves were discovered at former residential schools. They have blood on their hands. The reply was accompanied with a link to his article, which catalogs each of the Christian churches that have been vandalized, burned down, or desecrated since the misleading announcement that mass graves were discovered at residential schools in Kamloops, BC, and other areas. The announcements resulted from ground-penetrating radar readings that revealed soil anomalies. No human remains have since been discovered. Some of such posts have even been community noted on X. Giovanni launched a national initiative called Protect Christians Canada. The initiative follows a petition which calls on the government to take action to protect Christians in Canada. The petition was authored by Christians in Durham, Ontario, a region Giovanni represents in Parliament. He will present the petition in February 2025. He said, quote, "This is about whether Christians have the freedom in Canada to live according to their own traditions and practice their own faith." The campaign aims to strengthen penalties and to increase law enforcement to respond to crimes targeting places of worship. It also calls to protect conscious rights and freedom of religion for workers and defend the rights of parents in their children's education. The campaign aims to protect the legal status and freedom of expression of Christian charities too. Some municipalities have already begun pushing to enhance the rights of Christians. Mississauga, for example, raised a Christian Heritage Month banner over the city for the first time at the start of December. Based on 2021 census data, 49.9% of the city's residents identified as Christian. Over half the country's population, 53.3%, identified as Christians in 2021. This decreased from 67.3% in 2011 to 77.1% in 2001. According to Christianheritagemonth.ca, 36 municipalities and 1 province in Canada have officially declared December as Christian Heritage Month in the country. 31 of the 37 locations have official proclamations posted on the website. Saskatchewan, however, was not among them, this despite the province's addition, which followed the Western Standard, rumoring that Saskatchewan would make the announcement official on December 4th. But Saskatchewan has yet to confirm the announcement. As I referenced at the jump, Vance's statement follows Trump trying to save Canada from its own demise through over-immigration. Following Trump threatening to impose a 25% tariff on Canadian imports unless Canada enhances its border security, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and the country's premiers convened a meeting. Some of Canada's first ministers highlighted the issues discussed in the meeting. For example, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith said that Trump's concerns about illegal migrants and drug smuggling at the Canada-US border were valid. She said, quote, "I communicated this very clearly to the Prime Minister, and further indicated that Alberta will be acting urgently and decisively to patrol our own shared border with Montana, with more details to be announced soon in that regard." She added, quote, "I also expressed the need for the federal government to aggressively move up compliance with our country's NATO obligations of a 2% of GDP spend on our military forces, which is yet another concrete way to solidify our economic and military alliance with the United States." Smith also used the meeting to discuss the importance of energy security and partnering with the United States, urging the Prime Minister to halt his planned production cap. Of course, if the cap remains, Smith plans to invoke the Sovereignty Act to combat it. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe said that most, if not all of the premiers, highlighted the need for more border security to combat illegal drugs and migrants. Moe said, quote, "I think all Canadians would be in favor of ensuring that our borders are secure. Thus, our nation is secure when it comes to people that are coming in illegally." He added, quote, "When it comes to the drugs that are coming in and the scourge of drugs and the poison that we see in our communities today, it's very, very different than it was when I was growing up." Some other premiers issued statements confirming they attended the meeting, but were less clear in what specifics they requested from the Liberals and other premiers. For example, Quebec Premier François Legault said that he asked the Liberals to provide a more detailed plan on how they plan to improve border security. And Canada's border is in shambles. According to data from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the northern border has seen an unprecedented number of encounters with individuals on the terrorist watch list, significantly surpassing those at the U.S.-Mexico border in recent years. The data highlights that between fiscal year 2022 and October 2024, 1,199 individuals on the terrorist watch list have been apprehended attempting to cross into the United States from Canada. Conversely, only 205 individuals were caught at the southern border during the same period. The data for the fiscal year of 2025, which began October 2024 and tracks until the end of the month, highlights that 44 individuals on the terrorist watch list were apprehended in the first month alone, meaning the annual pace will be 528 potential terrorists apprehended at the US-Canada border, a projected increase of 47% from the previous fiscal year. In 2023 alone, 484 individuals on the terrorist watch list were intercepted at the Canada-US border, compared to only 80 at the US-Mexico border, meaning 6 times more potential terrorists were apprehended trying to cross through the northern border. A United States Homeland Security report highlighted that apprehensions at the northern border increased by 600% compared to 2021 and surpassed both 2021 and 2022 combined. There were 198,929 encounters with illegal immigrants at the Canada-US border in fiscal year 2024. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre highlighted other issues at the border following President-elect Donald Trump's pledge to implement a 25% tariff on products from Canada and Mexico due to Canada's poor border security. He said the following:
Justin Trudeau must put partisanship aside, not just for the sake of Team Canada, but for the sake of our people, and fully reverse his liberalization of drugs. Ban them, prosecute those who traffic in them, secure our borders against the illegal importation of fentanyl ingredients, put people in treatment and recovery to bring our loved ones home drug-free. That is necessary now more than ever. Look, President Trump has the right to put his workers and his nation's security first. I will put Canada's workers and Canada's security first. We need a Prime Minister with the strength and the smarts, the brains and the backbone to stand up for this country, to rebuild our security, our military, and our economy. That is what I will do.
Poilievre added that he didn't want to stop drug overdoses to please Trump, but so that, quote, "there's not one more mother with her face buried in a pillow sobbing that she just lost her kid." Poilievre had some strong words for Trudeau following the Prime Minister's recent visit in Mar-a-Lago with Trump. He said the following:
Well, while I'm a critic of Mr. Trudeau's, I did feel badly that he went in with such a position of weakness. Normally, when a Prime Minister goes to the United States to meet a president, they're looking to make gains. What gains did we hear from Mr. Trudeau? None. He's just trying to limit losses. Did he come back saying we're going to get an exemption to Buy America, like Harper achieved from Bush? No, Buy America is still in place. Did he say we're going to get an end to the softwood lumber tariffs, like Prime Minister Harper got from President Bush? No. Not only are they still in place, Biden just doubled them. All Justin Trudeau offers is minimizing losses. And this is the consequence of having a weak prime minister who's lost control of our borders, lost control of immigration, lost control of crime and drugs, and lost control of our economy. And Canadians are paying a dreadful price for everything that Justin Trudeau has broken. And we need a strong Prime Minister who has the brains and backbone to put Canada first and to fight for our workers and our security.
A recent Leger poll highlighted that less than 1/3 of Canadians, only 31%, trust the Liberals' ability to effectively manage the incoming US president and his tariff policies effectively. The survey also found that an overwhelming 79% of respondents are concerned that the tariffs will result in higher inflation in Canada, and 78% said they believe it will likely result in a recession. But don't worry, Freeland will just brush it off as a vibe session. Confidence in Trudeau is semi-respectable among Liberal voters, for the few of them that remain, at 67%. However, it falls off a cliff to 19% among Conservative voters, which, as you well know, are the majority of Canadians. However, more than half of Canadians, 58%, agree with Trump and think that it's time for the Trudeau government to take border security more seriously and implement the necessary measures to strengthen it. Trump allegedly told Trudeau that if he doesn't like the tariffs, he could always become the 51st US state and reign as governor. I don't imagine Trudeau will take him up on it, but some premiers, like Alberta Premier Danielle Smith, for example, may be tempted. Let me know in the comments if you see this as a realistic possibility that a province might try to do this if Trudeau somehow inexplicably were to win the next election. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. My name's Isaac Lamoureux, and this is Lamoureux Lately. It's been a pleasure to speak with you all today in the ongoing fight against tyranny.